to begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I represent Grow. We are a corporate farming business. We do kheti, basic we run crops and regions. You in detail about the different technologies we are leveraging at Grow. Share my screen now. So we are.
Please proceed, sir.
Yeah, so we are essentially running high yield farms. Each of our farms are sustainable projects wherein we grow either staples or fruits and vegetables or spices or other kind of cash crops. And we run the farm operations in an organized way, as I said, almost like a factory, which results in high yield of better quality produce. This is what we do. Some highlights about the business. So we have more than 2,000 acres of farms under management. About 5,000 acres are in pipeline. We should close over the next couple of months. Well diversified across regions, as I said. So we have presence in about 10 states, and 2 to 3 more states should get added soon. We've worked in close to 60 SKUs over the period of our existence. Currently, we would be working on about 20 odd SKUs. So again, as I said, we diversify consciously across crops as well as regions to mitigate the risks of agriculture. Now, if you look at the different kinds of technology that gets deployed at the farm level, at the first stage, we have something like IoT sensors. Now, if you go to the basics of the science behind it, it's like a blind technology. There are no visuals. It's a sensing technology. You get rapid results. Typically, it's almost real time. Otherwise, there is a minor lag, but you get the details with you pretty fast. Usually, it's quite feasible to integrate all the data coming from these sensors into farm management softwares or any other kind of dashboards, etc. Where are they used? For monitoring your soil health, how much is the nutrient, what is lacking, as well as detecting the detecting the weather details. So instead of relying on some remote farm manager who says, hey, we had a few, drops of rain today, or it was too hot today, and blah, 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 you get real data that this is what the soil temperature was, this was the soil moisture level, so on and so forth. So this is the first type of sensors we use. Then if you look at the next level, it's like from satellite data, you can monitor a lot of details. And these are obviously from a huge distance. Typically, the images are slightly blurred. You don't have 100% perfect, very, very sharp images. You have like decent broad level understanding of what's happening at the farm. You can't go down to like an insect in a particular plant based on satellite images. Typically, the information gets conveyed after a lag. So there is a lag of minimum of 3-4 days. Some of the satellite data information actually comes to you even after a 2-week or a 3-week kind of a lag, so to say. It's very helpful to trace historical data. What was the image like? When the land preparation was happening, what was the status of the farm? When sowing was happening, what was the status in the initial, irrigation? What was the status in the first spray or the second spray? And how does it look when we are near the harvest period, so on and so forth. Usually, you can plug this along with the IMD data and kind of look at historical information as well as some kind of predictions in terms of where what kind of weather is coming up, so to say. The common applications are for doing a basic NDVI analysis. How much is the vegetation. Linked to NDVI is your stress levels. Okay, are there pockets within the overall farm which looks more stressed compared to the others? And the stress could be either moisture level or other kinds of attack, but you can get a high level information in this pocket of the field. something is looking amiss and we need to take action. So that's where the satellite data really is helpful. Then you have more closer monitoring. This could be drones. This could be physical camera or CCTV kind of cameras. It could be rovers. Typically, because they are closer to the object being monitored, you have very high quality visuals. Typically, the results are immediately transferred to anybody monitoring it. It's almost real time. Uh, more often than not, you'll need to combine your machine-driven monitoring with some kind of manual audits. It cannot be 100% eliminated, but it is quite powerful. So from basic things like monitoring the attendance of labor, especially for a business like ours, where we are spread across thousands of acres of land across 10 different states, we can't have like central HQ people running around farms. We need to monitor the progress of activities remotely, and we don't want farm managers to give us any wrong information that okay, only 10 people came today, or we didn't get labor when there is actually labor coming in. So monitoring simple things as attendance is also critical, and it can be easily managed with the help of CCTV or other cameras. Similarly, if there are animal attacks happening, oftentimes farm managers complain, hey, we got attacked because of peacock or rabbits or wild boar and so on and so forth. And if you have good quality cameras and rovers, it's easier to manage these or monitor these sort of, and then prepare accordingly, whether it is electrified fencing or something else. We've also done drone-based spraying of pesticides in some of our farms. And one word of caution I want to talk about when it comes to these kind of monitoring devices is if you want to go to the extreme of, hey, I can just sit at home and monitor the farm, that's not going to happen. Your farm operations are going to go for a toss. You cannot dream about, I can relax in my sofa and monitor my farm. These are very powerful tools, but they need to be supplemented with some kind of physical presence, regular field visits. Manual audits are unavoidable and critical, so to say. So when all this information comes, it gets translated into powerful dashboards. All the data which is coming from the farm, it feeds into a farm management software which we use. When I say we use, the field guys also pump in information into the farm management software, and the HQ guys kind of use that data to see what's coming our way, and we use it for monitoring and project management and review and so on and so forth. And then we have central dashboards to say that, okay, what's the spread of different crops, what's the progress of different projects which we have chosen, where are the risks, what are the expected yield, what is the timeline of each of these yields, and so on and so forth. And when there is unexpected changes in the field, something will always get changed. It's agriculture. It's not like a factory or a manufacturing setup, so to say, from that perspective. So if you have untimely rain expected, basis IMD projections, then we tell people to plan for some kind of a dry storage at a farm level. So the information which you have or the prediction which you have translates into a specific next step or an action point. Okay, let's do this to protect our produce. If regular sprays were not done as per the planned schedule, there will be stress seen, and then we have to figure out what compensatory actions need to be done, whether the chemical changes, or although there is a delay, you do it immediately, or something else needs to be done. Worst case scenario, you plan for kind of the lower yield which is expected, so to say, but it translates to tactical action points at the farm level. Some of the other things which we are exploring as a business include price monitoring across all the crops which you're working on across different mandis. We're looking at blockchain because certain people have expressed an interest that hey, if we can have a more controlled tracing of what's happening at the farm level, from where the produce is coming, so on and so forth. Uh, some of the startups working on carbon have also approached us that they could help us earn some carbon credits. We are in early stages of discussion. We're also exploring indoor farming. There's a partner of ours who's working on indoor farming technologies, and we're figuring out how to work with them. We're certain crops grown under control condition without pesticides, so on and so forth. There's a specific market for it, so we're exploring that. Generally, if you have a technology which you feel can be useful to us at the farm level, we are more than happy to speak to you. We are always exploring new technologies, new companies to work with. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you very much, sir, for an informative presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants now. The first question is, sir, can you please stop sharing the screen, sir, so that we can see your full video?
I thought I've stopped sharing my screen.
Okay, start, sir. The first question is, how can precision agriculture technologies improve overall farm efficiency and productivity?
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to explain, that, if you have the right information coming to you from the different types of technologies, whether it's satellite data or sensor data, then you know what corrective action you need to take, or that whatever was planned as per the best practices or the agronomy advice is moving in the right direction, and hence you will get the expected yield, so to say. So it helps you monitor remotely. It helps you to take corrective action. It helps you to run things like a tight ship, so to say. So definitely it helps you improve the overall efficiency in managing. Otherwise, you will need someone at the farm level, or you need like multiple layers of management at the farm level to make sure that things are moving in the right direction.
Could you provide examples of specific technologies that have a significant impact on crop yield and quality?
Again, I spoke about these things, so maybe I can tell you a few, examples of companies with whom we are working. So, for sensors, we work with Cultivate or Fussel. Those IoT sensors are quite useful. Farm management softwares. We are evaluating TraceX. They seem to have a good tool for capturing like the day-to-day activities today. So much of sowing was done. This was the amount of water sprayed, and this was the pesticide which was stored or sprayed, and so on and so forth. And apart from that, I've already shared the specific technologies. It could be satellite data, it could be cameras, it could be drones. We are working with different partners for each of those technologies.
Okay. Sir, how are farmers using data-driven technologies to make informed decisions about planting, irrigation, and pest control?
I would say very few. In general, if you look at farming as an occupation, it's a very traditionally driven business, and people I won't say people don't use data at all, but they have a very manual way of looking at data. So the traditional farmer will go to the field, look at how he feels the temperature is. He will look at the pests which are roaming around. He will look at the status of flowering, or the diseases coming to the plant, and then take a decision. What we are talking about is even if you as an owner of a farm or a manager of a farm are not physically present at the farm, how can technology provide you that information? How can technology feed you? This is the temperature, this is the moisture, this is the status of nutrients in the soil, this is the pockets in the farm which are either destroyed by pests, or there is a stress because of disease, and then you take corrective action. Unfortunately, there aren't too many corporate farmers like us, that is Gropital. So the traditional farmers just tend to go and stand there in the field and take action. That's also data driven. It's just not tech driven. We use technology and take those data driven decisions.
Okay. And the next one is, are there any emerging technologies or trends in farm automation that you believe will revolutionize the industry in the near future?
Good question. I think the one space where I'm a little optimistic about, even when it comes to Indian farms, is use of drones. I'm not saying that the entire country will have drone-based spraying, but wherever there are contiguous areas where similar kind of plantation is happening, similar kind of crops are being grown, where the farmers can kind of pool in their resources, or at least someone who's providing the drone services sees that it's cost effective for that service provider also to manually move the drones around and kind of help it spray across different farms. I think that will see a significant uptake. We have started using, of course, we have large farms. We typically work on a minimum of 30-40 acres of contiguous land, and some of our lands are also like a few hundred acres in one place, so it's very cost effective for us to use drone based. I think this is one piece which should take a lot more increase in adoption, usage, what have you. And the good news is that a lot of input companies are also subsidizing the drone usage as pilots and other things, so to say. So I think this is one technology which should see significant uptake in usage.
Okay. How can artificial intelligence?
Sorry, I lost you after artificial intelligence. Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, am I online? Is it my internet issue or
Network issue at your end?
Yeah, it seems to be a network issue at my end, but I can hear you now. Can you please repeat your
You're
question?
able to, yeah, I will repeat it, sir. How can artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms help farmers optimize their operations and reduce costs?
Sure. So certain, AI ML based applications have already become a little bit popular. So if you look at the Plantix application, which is typically free for the farmers to use, that's a AI ML based application where you click the image of a crop which is infected with something, and that algorithm then tells you this is the problem which is on the plant and this is the corrective. In fact, they go to the extent of giving you corrective action, and they also recommend this nearby retailer has this chemical, just go ahead and kind of pick it up, so to say. So that's one thing. Satellite data based assessments have started taking shape in terms of how to assess the historical risk of a particular farm, and what is the progress of agriculture in a particular farm. That feeds into the financial risk profiling and the credit worthiness of a particular farmer, so to say. So those are all AIML driven prediction algorithms, so to say. I think these are couple of examples where AIML is already being used and should hopefully kind of go on ramping up from here.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question, sir. Are there any challenges or barriers that farmers typically face when adapting new agricultural technologies, and how can these challenges be overcome?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even for a like a business or an organization like ours, we face a lot of difficulty when we want to roll out something new to the farm level adoption, so to say. People are not comfortable in using phones for writing things or sending updates, or filling up forms, digital forms on a mobile application. It's not easy. It takes a significant amount of training and change management and patience and what have you to kind of get them, going along. We just have to keep reiterating the message that this needs to be done, this needs to be done. In certain cases, we also provide kind of central help in terms of data entry or training and so on and so forth. Secondly, you know, uh, cost definitely becomes a happening point. Unless and until you have scale, using any kind of technology is not easy. As I was explaining, when it comes to adoption of drones as well, unless and until you have like a fairly large area coming together, it's not cost effective to use drones or any other technology, so to say. So unless people pool in their resources, come together as an entity or an FPO or whatever it is difficult, and that's what should be done. You should pool in your resources so that you can use more advanced technology to help you in the farm operations.
Okay. What advice do you have for small-scale farmers who may have limited resources but still want to leverage technology to improve their farming practices?
Right. So, a couple of things. One, the good news is a lot of startups, funded or otherwise, are offering free agronomy advice through their mobile applications. So even if you do not have partners or friends with whom to collaborate with, you can download these apps. Almost all of the agri-tech startups, whether it is Dehat or Gramophone or AgroStar or Plantex, all of them have some kind of agronomy advice on their mobile apps. And there are a lot more. If you just go and search on the web, you'll find a lot more. Even the buyers and the Syngentas of the world are providing free agronomy advice. So I think that should be the starting point. At least, have a smartphone. Most of them do. I mean, at least WhatsApp has become so popular, everyone is on a smartphone. So you go and check out these apps, check out the free agronomy advice. And secondly, wherever possible, get a community of like-minded, progressive farmers together, and then see how as one group or one entity you can afford the technology and kind of leverage it and move forward.
Okay. So can you please tell us about yourself? What's your education, career background? What made you take an interest in this field?
Sure. Sorry. Yeah. When I started off, I jumped straight into the company introduction. I'm an engineer, MBA by background, Delhi College of Engineering, mechanical engineer, MBA from MDI Gurgaon. I started my career in consulting, then moved on to research and analytics. I had a 15 years streak of typical corporate job, tech job, that kind of stuff. Then I very accidentally entered the world of agri-tech about 6 years back. Some friends of mine started a business. They were using AI ML for accidentally, again, agriculture. I was part of Interlo Labs. We were looking at quality of fruits and vegetables. So by chance, I entered agri-tech. But once I entered, I really started enjoying myself in this field. And yeah, so that's where I've been continuing both as an angel investor as well as an operator in this space.
That's very nice to hear, sir. In summary, what is the main message you'd like to convey via this talk?
I think